Am I the eye hole? Would I be the eye hole for refusing to stop cooking bacon in my kitchen due to my teenage daughter's vegan lifestyle? Dad here. Old fart. Loves his daughter to pieces, but I'm struggling to see eye to eye with my teenager and wife on this one. We've always been a meat eating family. We live in the rural Midwest and bacon for breakfast is pretty much a given. This year my 14-year-old daughter decided to go vegan, and I jumped onto her support team with enthusiasm. We learned how to substitute ingredients, cook new things, try new things. I adjusted our budgets to include more expensive vegan substitutes for her, etc. None of this has been a problem for me until recently. She saw me cook bacon in a pan, and then I rinsed it out to load in the dishwasher. She exploded in anger. Teen years. I'm not too fussed about the anger explosion. I know she doesn't mean it, and said that was her pan for vegan food. I was completely floored and said, "Kiddo, this here is a family pan, older than you. It's not your pan." She asked me to purchase her a pan that she can solely use for vegan food. I didn't want her to feel weird about food, so I said sure, and ordered her a few colored ones that are only for her. The reason they're colored is so it helps me remember that I'm not to touch them unless I'm cooking vegan. That wasn't good enough. Now apparently the dishwasher is coil, not the eye eliminated with animal product, and the fridge has bacon grease fingers on it, because I eat bacon and then touch the fridge, and she's asked me and her mom to completely stop eating meat at home. I don't mean I literally touch the fridge with greasy bacon hands, because I wash my hands, but it's clearly enough that it upsets my daughter. Frankly, I'm on team hell no. Her mom is much more amenable and strongly wants me to consider taking our daughter up on the request. My wife's reasoning is that both our parents live close so we can eat meat products there, and that she doesn't want our daughter to feel uncomfortable in the kitchen. My daughter says she is fine with cheese and butter in the fridge, but it's specifically meat products that make her feel sick. Now I'm sorry for her, but I feel like she just needs to adapt and live side by side, because I'm not going to stop eating bacon in my own house. You're not the eye hole. Get her a special sponge she can use to wash her own dishes so she didn't have to use the tainted dishwasher. I was about to suggest something along those lines too. And you're not the eye hole obviously. See how serious she is about it when she's getting her own set of plates, dish soap and sponge to keep her food free of meat residue. On the plus side, that's all stuff she won't need to buy when it's time to move out. As a teen who's trying to go vegetarian, your daughter is acting ridiculous. The dishwashing machine's tainted? What kind of bull is that? And she shouldn't be forcing you guys to go vegan in your own house if you don't want to. You've been very supportive as it is. Buying separate pans. YWNBTA. Edit. And, if she really wants to change your diet, she should try and give you info on how bad the meat and dairy industry is, and how unhealthy large amounts of meat are for the modern human. Yada yada. Then you guys make your own choices on what you want to eat. Edit 2. I'm gonna take this time to say that 1. Please, regardless of if you're a meat eater, vegan, vegetarian, whatever, please be civil in discussions over this. If you want to be pissed off over something, this really shouldn't be it. 2. I really didn't want to start any debates, but whatever. Just take everything anyone, and I include myself, say with a grain of salt if they don't provide links to a credible source. Honestly, it's been nice just talking to people getting varying opinions on this subject, but I'm starting to see a bit of hate flow through a few people just showing up. You're not the eye hole. She's 14. There is no middle ground at 14. My condolences, as it's going to be a long winter. Am I the eye hole for suggesting my 7-year name his new stuffed tiger Tig Butties? Pretty much the title. My son won a stuffed tiger at the fair last night and said he had named him Tig. He asked me what its last name should be. I couldn't help myself and just instantly replied Bitties. Then I turned to my wife to share a smirk, but she was pissed and quickly suggested a few different last names. But my son insisted that he liked Bitties, so now his tiger is Tig Bitties. My wife thinks it was completely inappropriate. I think it was a silly joke that went over his head and will have no negative ramifications. No eye holes here. Inappropriate? Yes. Still funny? Also yes. Finally someone who acts like a real person. No eye holes here. You jokingly suggested a name. It's not your fault your son happened to like it. There will probably be no ramifications. But you and your wife can probably convince him to change the name if she dislikes it that much. Just think of a new last name and tell him in a really excited way that you just thought of an even better last name. And I'd bet he'd go with you and change it. You're the eye hole. It may have gone over his head, but what about when he repeats it in school or around adults? Edit. Not sure why this comment drew so much attention, but thank you for the platinum, kind stranger. So you're saying that a good portion of the jokes in Disney Pixar movies shouldn't be allowed because the kids might repeat those jokes around other people? Examples. MT. Wano eye holes Hiru Kalagi from Finding Nemo. 2 female cars flashing Lightning McQueen in Cars. Frozen's joke about how foot size doesn't matter. These are jokes that go over kids' heads and that they will repeat around everyone. Why are those okay but this iced? Or Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story saying I'm the only one who can take Mrs. Potato Head's mouth. You're not the eye hole. I had a toy monkey my father called Benito, like Mussolini, and I grew up just fine. No eye holes here, but maybe refer to it as Tig as much as you can. Just to please your wife as a compromise. The same way you refer to his teddy bear as Tess, and not Miss Tickles. You're the eye hole, but also I want to say no eye holes here because it's funny. But seriously, your wife is right. That is inappropriate for a 7-year-old. He's not going to know what it means. And he's going to talk to his friends about tigbitties. And some uppity soccer mom is going clutch her pearls. And it's going to be a big mess of stupid. And then later in his life it's going to click and he's going to be like, WTF dad? Why do you have me running around talking about tigbitties when I was 7 years old? I don't think it's a big deal. And obviously it's too late. This is a fass up and move on kind of thing. But your wife's response is totally valid. Am I the eye hole for telling cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card? Throw away because husband told me I was tay and want to know before I get home and argue. On phone format is bad. I was in a higher end apartment store today, rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to 2 teenage age girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at price tag and asks boots girl if she's really gonna spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of it's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying, which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell cashier that isn't her card but her father's and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Girl tells cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, cashier tells her she can't use that card. Girl tries to show it to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that will help. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business that she's doing something illegal, she needs to pay with her own card or I call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit, Aisha? You're the eye hole. Did it ever occur to you that she was telling the truth and her dad had given her his credit card? Mind your own business. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. To everyone saying that she could have taken the card without permission. You are right. But it is still none of ours business and there is no way to know for sure. If the girl was an adult who said she was using her husband's card, OP likely wouldn't have batted an eye. Exactly this. You're the eye hole because it was literally none of your business. I will never understand the sense of entitlement that comes from thinking you can just insert yourself into other people's affairs when you don't know them and it doesn't impact you whatsoever. But it was something illegal, so it is her BS. I thought the part about Suumi and needing to parent this child was bad, but this is some Karen bullshit. I just love the sense of self-righteousness that she swooped in and finally a martyr. Nay, a savior has at long last arrived to tell this girl no, not today Satan, spare me. Entitlement was the perfect word. You're the i-hole op. Edit. Nay not nay. Only once every 1,000 years does such a hero grace the earth to do what all else have failed to do. Parent other people's children. The mystics have foretold this legendary figure throughout the realms, anxiously awaiting her arrival. Rejoice for she is here. Karen the corrector of children. Marvel at her superiority. I don't remember foretelling that. Karen the corrector of kids. OP is blatantly jealous. OP is the Tay. Also seems jealous of the girl being able to make those purchases. You're the eye-hole. What a ducking busybody. Before I had my first job, my mom would regularly give me her store credit card so that I could go shopping on my own and buy clothes for myself. And she would receive store coupons and points for my purchases that she could then use. Thank God I never encountered any morally entitled people like OP. And you threatened to call the cops on teenagers who you suspected of fraud? WTF is wrong with you? I'll step up and parent these girls if no one else will. Like duck all you will. It's not your place. You are not their parent. Why did you even need to make this post? You are so clearly Tay. Mind your own damn business. Edit. Thank you, kind strangers. You're the eye-hole. What the duck dude? Plenty of parents hand over their store credit card for their kid to shop in that store. It wasn't even a damn Visa or anything. A Bloomingdale's card. I can't tell you how many times my parents did the same. I had permission to buy what I wanted or needed and to use their card. Some people don't have the same price constraints as you, and a pair of shoes over $1K isn't a big deal. And even then, it's her dad's card. He would have seen the statement and known exactly what she purchased that was that expensive. The fact that this teen was able to pull out her own credit card and put it on there instead of walking away from the purchase shows that this girl is living in a very different world than you. Of course she walked away crying. You were mean, belittling, sticking your nose where it didn't belong, and causing a scene over a common occurrence. Adult and teenage me would have given you a big middle finger and then swiped my mom's card that I'm a goddamn authorized user on. You're the eye-hole. I tell her that it is my business. It's not. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card. Nobody asked you how you parent your kids. Certainly nobody cares. And not everyone parents the same as you. If the girls, the cashier, all the shoppers in the vicinity, and your own husband think you're wrong, do you really think it's likely that they're all wrong and you're sitting on your cloud of rightness, or is there a chance that perhaps you're a little more obnoxious than you think you are? My favorite line though has to be, I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Do you think maybe she was reacting negatively because you ruined what was supposed to be a nice day with her friend? Maybe a birthday shopping spree she was given, and you sucked all the joy out of it. Maybe teenagers get nervous in situations where adults approach them accusing them of things they didn't do and threatening to call police on them while having zero evidence they were doing anything wrong. Someone should follow you around with a camera. You are prime r/public freakout material. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking mad lad. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.